Question of last week's presidential debate in which the president assured America that COVID-19 is going to disappear.
It will go away, and as I say, we're rounding the turn, we're rounding the corner. It's going away.
Okay.
Is it going away right now, Ursula?
No. The cases are going up, and there's no sign of any sort. I mean, I think the majority of states in the United States are seeing increases right now.
That's the type of weekend that we have, and I know throughout this week, and I can't wait for Dr. Hanson Rasmussen to join us. But I gotta say, Ursula, I've been concerned about COVID, but I gotta say this weekend I'm really concerned, considering the hospitalizations are going up, and considering and understanding why this is happening. I mean, it's starting to get cold outside, so we are all going inside to gather, whether it's eat together or hang out together, and it's starting to make a little bit sick.
And COVID fatigue has set in.
Yes, it has. Hey, coming up next, 35 million pounds of this particular candy is made, and Ursula likes it, I think. You do it.
Our $30 car tax, which we voted for 3 times, to passing the 6 cent bill in the middle of the night, to not implementing law and order in our cities and across the country. It is time to send a message that we, the people, are in charge, and we know what's best. Get out and vote Jeffrey Beeler for Congress. I'm Jeffrey Beeler, and I approve this message. Paid for by Beeler for Congress.
KOMO News Time 944, checking your traffic every 10 minutes on the 4s, and off we go to Kira Jordan for an update.
Well, just about everywhere we're enjoying commutes that move us along at the speed limit. A couple of exceptions, no big surprise. North on I-5 is crowding as you're approaching the convention center, and then northbound 405 is going to be busy between Sunset and about Northeast 44th. We do have this backup that is forming, though, on southbound 167. Between this area of State Route 516 or Willis Street and 277th, we have been seeing a backup into that area before, and then it cleared out. It looks like it's now back again, so we may have an aid unit that's appeared back on the scene there. This traffic report is sponsored by Insperity, HR that makes a difference. Insperity, providing employee benefits, HR technology, payroll, and scalable HR services for more than 34 years. Insperity, HR that makes a difference. Our next KOMO traffic at 9:54.
Your forecast calls for some partly sunny skies and a high near 50. It'll start to warm up tomorrow, 55 for the high, and then near 60 Wednesday and Thursday. We got some partly sunny skies in each of those days. A little shower activity perhaps Friday, and then some more sunshine and partly sunny days over the weekend. Right now, doesn't look like a bad week at all as we wrap up October. Currently, as we head down south, we're going to find that we've got Olympia checking in with some mostly sunny skies and 35 up to Bellingham, clouds at 35. At SeaTac Airport, partly sunny and 40 at 9:46.
Stay connected, stay informed. The Northwest's only 24-hour news station. KOMO News 1000, FM 97.7.
Caleb Insights, Bill O'Neill, our editors. I'm Tom Butler, and stories we're following. The Senate is set to confirm Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. Republicans expected to overpower Democratic opposition and vote this evening to confirm President Trump's nominee. The president is beginning the first of 3 campaign rallies in Pennsylvania by saying he wants to discuss an issue of existential importance as he focuses on former Vice President Joe Biden's policies on energy. Pennsylvania, the second leading producer of natural gas in the country, behind Texas. And Trump claims that Biden would abolish the entire U.S. oil industry. And with 8 days to go before the election, the 2 men are on the campaign trail right now, as are their surrogates, Vice President Mike Pence and nominee Kamala Harris for the Democratic side. Joe Biden on the campaign trail as well. Here's more from ABC's Mary Bruce.
Thank you, Ohio. Go out and vote. Pennsylvania matters. So please vote.
The president barnstorming the battleground states, hammering his rosy picture of the pandemic, even as the nation again hits that record number of cases.
We're rounding the turn. We're doing great. Our numbers are incredible.
And still defending his mostly maskless rallies overnight in a contentious interview with 60 Minutes.
I tell people to...
But you don't.
Leslie, we hand out thousands of masks.
But you look out and they're not wearing them. So you don't get up there and say, look, you know, come on. I want you to get sick. Trump pressed on why he still has not released his health care plan, as he promised more than a year ago.
It is developed. It is fully developed. It's going to be announced very soon when we see what happens with Obamacare.
The Trump administration is asking the Supreme Court to invalidate Obamacare. The justice is set to take up the case just 1 week after the election. Trump furious at the interview, abruptly cutting it short.
I think we have enough of an interview here, Hope. Okay, that's enough. Let's go.
His press secretary then handing over a book, calling it the president's health care plan. But according to 60 Minutes, it was filled with just executive orders and congressional initiatives. Former President Obama poking fun at Trump for not being able to handle the tough questions.
He likes to act tough and talk tough. He thinks scowling and being mean is tough. When 60 Minutes and Leslie Stahl are too tough for you. You ain't all that tough.
Obama getting out the vote for Joe Biden as the Democratic candidate campaigns more cautiously than Trump over the weekend in the must-win state of Pennsylvania.
You may come down to Pennsylvania, and I believe in you. I believe in my state.
He's up in the polls, but Biden insists to 60 Minutes that he's taking nothing for granted.
I feel superstitious when I predict anything other than it's going to be a hard fight.
Now, this week, Trump is ramping up his already breakneck pace. He is planning to visit nearly a dozen states, including holding 11 rallies in just the last 48 hours. Joe Biden is also stepping things up. He's planning to hit 6 key battleground states. It all comes, of course, as early voting is smashing records, already passing the total number of early votes in 2016.
That is ABC's Mary Bruce reporting. KOMO News Time, 9:49.
Here are your political insights from ABC News. 8 days to go before Election Day, and some 58 million Americans have already cast early votes. The candidates for president and their running mates are campaigning hard. Democrat Joe Biden holding a virtual fundraising event Sunday, calling the election critical.
Our country is an inflection point. The way every single one of us votes right now is going to determine the future for a long time, not just for 4 years, but well beyond that.
President Trump campaigning in New Hampshire Sunday and visiting an apple farm in Maine, urging his supporters to vote.
I look forward to seeing you November 3rd. I really believe it's the biggest election our country's ever had.
Trump's Vice President Mike Pence set to preside over today's anticipated Senate vote to confirm Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. Democrats expressing concern over Pence after at least 5 members of his inner circle tested positive for coronavirus. The White House justified the Vice President not quarantining, saying he's an essential worker under CDC guidelines. Those are your political insights. I'm Derek Dennis, ABC News.
KOMO News Time, 9:50. Let's update the money news with the Propel Insurance Business Update. We check your money at 20 and 50 past each hour.
Early results from tests for a coronavirus vaccine being developed by Oxford in collaboration with AstraZeneca show it produces a robust immune response in elderly people, the group at highest risk. The Financial Times says the vaccine triggers protective antibodies and T cells in older age groups, encouraging researchers as they seek evidence that it will spare those in later life from serious illness or death from the virus. If you're the type to wait until the last minute to do your holiday shopping, you better have a new strategy this year. FedEx says the pandemic has triggered such an increase in e-commerce since March that shipping volumes have consistently been at Christmas Eve or Cyber Monday levels every day. Now we're heading into a peak on top of the peak. You should have orders in by December 1st. That's your money now.
Well, with the coronavirus cases spiking and the uncertainty about a stimulus package being passed by the election, the markets are in free fall. The Dow's down over 2.9%, 823-point drop. The Nasdaq's down 2.1%, 247 points into negative territory. And the S&P 500 is down over 81 points. It's a drop of 2.3%. That's your Propel Insurance Business Update. KOMO News Time, 9:51.
There's a huge difference between Mark James and his opponent for state representative in Snohomish County. She wants to defund the police. You heard that right. If you have a home invasion, April Berg thinks you shouldn't call police. You should try and understand the criminal's motivation. Crazy? Absolutely. With Mark James, it's also personal. Mark and Renee have 3 sons. 2 are deputy sheriffs and 1 is a park ranger. They protect and defend their neighbors. So, who is Mark James' opponent working to protect and defend? The criminals? Mark James is a U.S. Army veteran, a small business owner, a city councilman, and a husband and father. He stands for law and order. April Berg stands for defunding the police. It's time to take a stand for law and order. It's time to vote for Mark James for was paid for by friends of Mark James, Republican.
Hi, I'm Matt Schaefer, Chief Recovery Officer with Arista Point. The disruption from coronavirus has been epic. We're all looking for a path forward to get back to work, to keep our employees healthy, and keep our businesses operating in these rapidly changing times. That's why I want to tell you about a new program called Safe Work Return. Safe Work Return is a risk management solution that gets employees back to work and keeps companies operating at full capacity while keeping our employees, families, and customers safe. This employer-based program includes baseline testing with a non-invasive saliva test for employees from BioIQ. Our web-based tools provide the CDC-recommended daily symptom screening and an activity tracking tool to educate employees about their daily exposure risk. To find out how Safe Work Return can help your business and how you can get started today, give us a call at 425-968-0545 or go online at safeworkreturn.com. That's safeworkreturn.com. Let's work together for a better tomorrow.
Are you thinking about a new roof? Call the Bear. Winter's a great time for a new roof because Polar Bear Roofing can schedule your new roof installation in a matter of days so you're not waiting weeks or months. If you're looking for affordable payment options, call the Bear. For a limited
And Canada North can do a good job of being decorations on cookies or just giving a little hint of a Halloween treat without overpowering it. If you just do just like one little candy.
You cannot deface a cookie with candy. No,
I gotta
rising in 44 states. No states are seeing declines.
Vice President Pence, even though he's had close contact with positive cases in his office, plans to campaign today in Minnesota. Dr. Ashish Jha of Brown University says he's not the essential worker the White House claimed.
He should absolutely not be out of quarantine. The CDC makes special dispensation for people whose work involves critical infrastructure.
Later today, the Senate is set to approve Amy Coney Barrett to the U.S. Supreme Court.
The White House Chief of Staff says an evening event is planned to celebrate the expected confirmation. Mark Meadows shrugs off concerns about a repeat of the super spreader event at the announcement of Amy Coney Barrett's nomination.
It'll be outdoors if it goes off as planned right now.
Meadows wasn't able to confirm Vice President Pence's plans to preside over the confirmation vote in the Senate. As a self-described essential worker, Pence is continuing his schedule, despite having been in close contact with several aides who tested positive for COVID. Steve Portnoy, CBS News.
Lines were long as Maryland began in-person voting today. 60 million have voted early so far in the U.S. Power was cut in some places in Northern California because windy weather could pose a threat to lines and cause fires. Meteorologist David Parkinson.
The worst fire danger is later today, so 2 to 11 p.m. is a critical, in fact, it is a particularly dangerous situation as described by the National Weather Service because the humidity is going to be single-digit or low teens.
CBS's Diane King Hall tells us there's an advanced look at the holiday shopping season.
According to NerdWallet's 2020 holiday shopping report, 2/3 of respondents said they would do the majority of their shopping online. Nearly the same amount said the pandemic will impact the way they give gifts this year, and 40% said they plan on spending less.
Scientists said today there may be more places that hold frozen water on the moon than previously thought. The Dow is down 830 points. This is CBS News.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. When you want the ability to adjust your loan options in real time, Rocket can. Need to know what it takes for a home loan to fit your budget and your family? Rocket can.
Only a few hours left to register to vote in next week's election. Details coming up after a traffic report with Emery Martin.
Right now, we remain in the clear as far as blocking issues go, and travel times around the Puget Sound are in pretty good shape. Olympia to Tacoma, 30 minutes. Federal Way to either Bellevue or Seattle, 30 to 35-minute travel time. Marysville to Seattle coming in at 40 minutes. The Hood Canal Bridge is it actually closed about 15 minutes ago for maintenance work. Drivers should be expecting delays of up to 60 minutes. Stevens and Snoqualmie Pass, the roads on our mountain passes right now are bare and wet with frost and ice in places. This report is sponsored by the state of Washington. Remember, wear a mask, stay 6 feet apart, and keep gathering small. It takes all three actions together to stop the spread of COVID-19. Learn more at coronavirus.wa.gov. That's your Cairo Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Emery Martin.
Now, from the Cairo Radio News Center at mynorthwest.com.
It's the last day to register to vote by mail or online in our state, but don't panic if you can't get to it today. Cairo Radio's Hannah Scott explains.
Washington has same-day voter registration, which allows you to register to vote in person at your county elections office all the way up through 8 p.m. on Election Day. Latest statewide numbers show about 42% of voters have already returned ballots. Secretary of State Kim Wyman expects that number to increase significantly.
I have been telling county election officials to plan on 90% turnout.
Voters, if you want to avoid having to register in person, you can still register or update your registration at vote.wa.gov through the end of the day.
Coronavirus numbers are spiking in our state as the nation grapples with the fall surge. The health department reported more than 900 new cases here Saturday. That's the highest daily count we've seen in months. Hospitalizations are on the rise too, the death rate staying relatively stable. A local nonprofit is pleading with the thieves who stole more than 100 drums that were donated to the Seattle World Percussion Society. For 7 TV, Shelby Miller has that story.
They kept their equipment in a trailer in the parking lot at Journey Christian Center in Lake City. The organization's president says a few months ago they noticed a few drums were missing, then a few more, and then someone took a bunch of them. They were preparing to move that trailer when suddenly, on October 12th, the trailer and everything inside of it went missing.
Seahawks fans dealing with the team's first loss of the season. Yesterday's game slipped away after 3 double-digit leads over the Arizona Cardinals. Head coach Pete Carroll.
That's how close these games are. They're all over the league, and this is what we're up against. It's going to be like this week in, week out. We're versed. We just got to find a way to come through and make the plays like we know how to do.
Hawks have another big game, divisional game coming up when they host the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday. KIRO Radio weather. Clouds this morning, should see some sunshine tonight, partly cloudy tomorrow.